Good morning, and welcome to World in 5, your trusted source for comprehensive coverage of today's most pressing events, delivered with accuracy, integrity, and insights.
As Kenyan President William Ruto arrived in Beijing 7 months ago, he was greeted with a red carpet and Chinese troops standing at attention on the tarmac. Now, let's go live to our reporter, Shelby. What's the latest update on the situation?
One of the objectives during his 3-day state visit in October was to secure an additional $1 billion in loans from China to aid in completing infrastructure projects. Now, as President Biden welcomes Kenya, he seeks to counter China's influence in the region. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update. Let's move on to the next segment, global conflicts.
In the midst of battles raging outside Kharkiv, some towns like Lipsy are deemed critical for Ukraine to hold onto at all costs. However, maintaining control is precarious. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Anthony, what's the latest update on the situation?
Upon entering under cover of darkness, the streets are still ablaze from an earlier airstrike. Nighttime offers the only respite from drone attacks, as the town has already been hit 8 times before our arrival. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
Families of Rohingya people trapped in Myanmar's west are frantically attempting to reach loved ones following a weekend marked by widespread arson attacks. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Jensen, what's the latest update on the situation?
These attacks have displaced up to 200,000 people and resulted in extensive destruction of homes, with fires raging across the entire town. The Rohingya community in the country has endured prolonged mass atrocities and forced displacement, widely regarded by many, including UN experts, as genocide perpetrated by the country's military. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update. Let's move on to the next segment, internal affairs and politics.
During a lengthy session of proceedings in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, a morning hearing before Judge Aileen Cannon turned into a shouting match among the attorneys. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Alana, what's the latest update on the situation?
The afternoon arguments led the judge to question whether the legal complexities of the case might be too challenging for jurors to grasp. The intense exchanges occurred during a morning session in Fort Pierce, Florida, which was intended for Walt Nauta, one of former President Donald Trump's co-defendants, to argue that special counsel Jack Smith's team had unfairly and vindictively levied charges against him. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
Former Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley has announced she will vote for Donald Trump in the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Patrick, what's the latest update on the situation?
Haley, who previously served as Trump's United Nations ambassador, was the last major rival to exit the party primary contest, doing so in early March. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update. Let's move on to the next segment, global disasters.
At least 9 people, including a child, have died and 50 more have been injured after a stage collapsed at an election campaign rally in Mexico's northern Nuevo León state. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Philip, what's the latest update on the situation?
The tragic incident occurred while center-left presidential candidate Jorge Alvarez Maínez was speaking in San Pedro Garza Garcia, near Monterrey, according to the local governor. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
More than 140 travelers and crew members on board a flight hit by severe turbulence have landed in Singapore on a relief flight this morning. Now, let's go live to our reporter, Shelby. What's the latest update on the situation?
Passengers of Flight SQ 321 from London to Singapore recounted scenes of absolute terror. One passenger described seeing a woman with an awful gash on her head and hearing another person screaming in agony. Back to you, John.
Thanks for that update. Let's move on to the next segment, environmental events.
Hear the incredible sound as billions of cicadas emerge across the U.S. These periodical cicadas, with unique 13-year and 17-year life cycles, spend most of their lives underground. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Tobin, what's the latest update on the situation?
This year, Brit XEX and Brit XEI are emerging simultaneously, a rare event last seen in 1803. This co-emergence has resulted in a massive number of cicadas in many parts of the country. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update. Let's move on to the next segment, human rights.
A Chinese blogger who was jailed for 4 years for her reporting on the initial COVID outbreak in Wuhan has been released from prison as confirmed by Reporters Without Borders, RSF.
Desperate businesses like Lisa Winton's Winton Machine Company in Sewanee, Georgia, are facing challenges in finding skilled workers due to restrictions on hiring undocumented immigrants. Now, let's go live to our reporter. Owen, what's the latest update on the situation?
Despite recognizing a larger pool of experienced workers, Winton is unable to employ them because of their immigration status. Approximately a quarter of her workforce comprises immigrants, all authorized to work legally. Winton emphasizes that she only hires individuals who are authorized to work and turns away applicants seeking under-the-table payments. Back to you, Bella.
Thanks for that update.
Thanks for tuning in to World in 5 for your daily dose of news and updates. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on breaking stories and insightful analysis.